Okay, hopefully people are transferred. Okay, I screwed up the last stream for Twitch. All right, are we here? Are you guys ready? Have you heard of the story? We put the chat up on the screen so I can see you. What a busy day. We're here, and let's just say it, it's been a long day. We're here, and we're queer. Somebody told me that the other day. Why you say that, man? Are you gay? Yes. No. Who cares? If you guys can hit the like button for me, please. Re-hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Sign up to the mailing list. The notifications. Is this man... Did he kidnap this woman? Or the baby, I mean. Did he try to kidnap the baby? Was he lying? Was she lying? Is he a creep? Is she a weirdo? National headlines. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Man, oh man, oh man. A Walmart encounter turned national headlines. Mahendra Patel, 57 years old, arrested and charged. Because this woman had claimed that he was trying to steal her baby, kidnap. And she has an interesting history. He has a little history too, but...
The shopper in this video is accused of a terrible crime, snatching a little boy at Walmart. The mother's accusation was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy?
Yeah.
Caroline Miller says it's snatching a little boy at Walmart. The mother's accusation was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy?
Yeah.
Caroline Miller.
Did someone try to take you from mommy? Damn, bro.
Miller says it started when the shopper asked where he could find Tylenol at a Walmart in Atlanta.
It's over there. And as soon as I did that, that's when he just picked him up out of my arms.
What followed, she said, was a tug of war over the kid. She called 911.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
Now, this ain't, I had read somewhere that supposedly should go like 30 minutes after, but okay, we'll play it.
I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
Someone trying to snatch your baby?
Yes.
56-year-old Mahendra Patel was charged with kidnapping and simple assault. But this newly released surveillance tape appears to paint an entirely different picture, showing Patel asking Miller about the Tylenol, and you can see her pointing toward the drug aisle.
What is going on there? Because that is the point where she is alleging he was trying to grab her son and she was pulling him back.
Her children are sort of hanging off of this cart, and you see Mr. Patel almost lean in to help. And then moments later, literally split seconds later, she starts to rise to point out the Tylenol. Then within 1 or 2 seconds after that, you see her in a screen laughing with another gentleman.
Hold up. So this is the attorney for Mahendra Patel.
Hanging off of this cart.
Trying to grab her son and she was pulling him back.
Her children are sort of hanging off of this cart, and you see Mr. Patel almost lean in to help. And then moments later, literally split seconds later, she starts to rise to point out the Tylenol. Then within 1 or 2 seconds after that, you see her in a screen laughing with another gentleman.
The tape shows that minutes after she claimed he tried to kidnap her son, there was a subsequent encounter where Patel shows the woman he found the Tylenol. He then checks out, stops to talk to an employee, then leaves.
I think it's crystal clear from the video. You can see that there's no assaulting conduct. You can see there's no battery. You can see he doesn't actually take the child from the mother.
So we're gonna dive a little more into this. Walmart shopper hurled in jail, locked up. We're gonna take a look at this full video, the court video. 57-year-old Georgia father locked up accused of abducting a toddler. He's been released on bail. Bombshell footage that attorney says exposes his female accuser as a liar. When you hear about some of her history, it's going to be interesting. Make sure you watch to the end of this video. Now, everybody has ADD. You listen to one sentence, you leave, and then you're like my friends texting me, telling me, yo, did you see this? Yeah, I covered it days ago. So watch to the end. I know it's hard to, you know. Mahendra Patel, 57, languished in jail since he was arrested in March following an interaction with the lady. So her name is Caroline Miller. In a Walmart store, Acworth, Georgia. Miller alleged that Patel tried to kidnap her 2-year-old and that they were in a tug of war. So she's holding the baby, he's holding the baby, and they're tugging back. No, help me! Ah! But is that what's on video? Is that what's on video? What happened? However, the release of the surveillance footage has led many to cast doubt over Miller's claims, as Patel was seen merely conversing with the mother. As a man, you can't even talk to women anymore. You can't even look in their direction because it's rape. You can't do nothing. You can't be nice, whatever, because this is what happens when you be nice. This is what they asked, oh, what happened to chivalry? Y'all killed it. Chivalry's dead. What happened to chivalry? Y'all killed this shit. And again, I should be skeptical, though, because let's take both sides of the story and come to some type of conclusion. Patel insisted that he grabbed the boy as he saw him falling off of Miller's motorized shopping cart. Now, why was she in a motorized shopping cart? That's the other thing I was wondering. She can't walk? Did she hurt herself? She disabled? Or she just felt like taking it just cause? Or maybe she has these kids. Maybe she's carrying all these kids. I think she had 2 kids. So he says he was trying to save the child from falling. In court this week, Patel's attorney said he acted like a father when he reached out to stop the child from falling. I remember one time there was this kid that fell at a park, and she was crying. I don't know where her parents were. And I reached out, and I lifted her up. But I was a little hesitant at first, because I was thinking, damn, what if these motherfuckers try to say something? Oh, you touched my kid! But the person, you know, just the normal human decency, me and the dad in me, just let me help her up, you know? But I was just like from a distance, you know what I'm saying? Like this with my fingers and shit. You know what I'm saying? So cameras show Miller apparently unbothered by the interaction. In the immediate aftermath, she was seen smiling and chatting with a man while Patel went about his business. Her claims that Patel fled the store have also been disproven by footage showing him paying for his goods. He was shopping casually. He paid for his shit and left. The father has remained in custody since he was arrested 3 days after his interaction with Miller. And Merchant said he spent his 57th birthday behind bars. Patel has received an outpouring of support from those who feel he was unjustly accused. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to do, this is the lady right here with her kids. Smile. In the footage of their interaction at Walmart, Patel was seen walking up to Miller as she drove her motorized shopping cart with her son and 4-year-old. It's unclear why Miller was using the cart, as she was able to walk. Is that wrong for people to do that, take the carts if you can walk fine? Or maybe because she has her kids? Maybe, I don't know. The footage showed no struggle. All right, let's just watch it. Let's watch some of the interactions in the courtroom.
Well, having said that, I'm ready, Ms. Merchant.
Great. Show the video here too.
And Judge, thank you for letting some people in support appear by Zoom. Also, the jury assembly room has been opened for other supporters. We have right now about 150 people down there, and they're still pouring in.
Made sure that was open for you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Judge, we are here because the state has accused Mahendra Patel, and he goes by Mick, but Mick Patel, of, at first it was kidnapping, and then it moved to attempted kidnapping. So he was arrested on March 21st of 2025 for an incident that allegedly happened at a local Walmart on March 18th. The officer took out a warrant for kidnapping, not attempted, assault and battery. Subsequently, the state indicted that case on April 3rd. We had a bond and probable cause hearing scheduled for April 16th, but when the state indicted it, they indicted it for attempted kidnapping and then misdemeanor assault and misdemeanor bond. So we were not able to have that bond hearing. Mr. Patel was not given bond at first appearance. At that time, he was charged with kidnapping of a minor. The state essentially is alleging that Mr. Patel had an interaction with a lady named Caroline Miller at this local Walmart. They've said that Ms. Miller was pointing out to Mr. Patel where the Tylenol was in the store, and that Mr. Patel grabbed the child and started pulling the child away from Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller has said that they engaged in a back and forth and a tug of war, as she described it, for 10 seconds before she was able to finally get the child back. Luckily, we have video. The video shows that Mr. Patel did lean in to Ms. Miller and her child. They were in a handicapped scooter, mobility cart. There's different names. She is admittedly not handicapped, has admitted to that publicly, and was riding it because her child enjoyed it, sort of like a joyride. He interacted with her. We'll show you the entire interaction, but the relevant, super relevant portion is less than 5 seconds. Before he actually,
less than 5 seconds?
Less than 5 seconds.
Okay.
And I'll walk you through that. It's about a 5-minute clip, and I'll walk you through that in a moment. But we're very lucky that we have that. So Ms. Miller pointed to where the Tylenol was. Mr. Patel went, got the Tylenol, and the video couldn't be clearer. Mr. Patel did not try to kidnap this child. What it shows, just to walk you through the timeline, because I think it's important, it shows starting at 8:17, you can see Mr. Patel entering the Walmart. And I'm going to show you parts of this, not all of it, but, and if you want to see more of it, we can show you all you want, but what we've done is pull out the relevant parts. So he enters the Walmart at 8:17, then at 8:18, you can see him enter the pharmacy area, and then you can see at 8:19, he's looking for the Tylenol. So, and at the same time, he had his cell phone, and he was actually texting his daughter, who's here, because he cares for his 86-year-old mother, who has osteoarthritis and requires a special kind of Tylenol. So it was this rapid release gel Tylenol. He was trying to find it, and the daughter who was helping him, the daughter who also has cared for the mother, was actually sent him a picture. So we've actually asked for the cell phone to be returned because we wanted that evidence, but the state, when we asked for it to be returned, they took out a search warrant for it, so it's still in their custody. But we've seen those, and so we know that he was texting about this Tylenol. The first interaction that he has with Miss Miller is at 8:21, and that's the first time you see them. She's in this scooter. He's got his hands in his pockets. This is what I'll call the first interaction. Then you see her sort of puttering along in the mobility cart, and you see her sort of clip the corner. There's an end cap display case. Sort of clip the corner of that end cap display case, stop, and at 8:21 and 45 seconds is when you see Mr. Patel lean in. And what we've talked to the witnesses and how it's sort of been described by a lay witness was like a father, like the child's reaching for Mr. Patel like a dad, like if you walk up to a baby and they reach for you. And Mr. Patel leans in and reaches for the child like a father would, is how it was described. Mr. Patel offered to hold the baby while she got up to show him where the Tylenol was, to point, because she's trying to point at that time. And he believes fully that she's handicapped, and she's got 2 young children.
I wonder if that's part of the act too. I'm going to play an interesting video. After this part plays, I wanted to hear this lawyer break it down, but after this part, there's somebody that broke it down. I haven't watched the video yet, but they go into the history of this lady, and it's kind of sus. She's accused other people of stuff too in the past. So
one is actually at her feet. So it's this mobility cart with the basket that you're supposed to put groceries in, and then one child's actually at her feet, and the one's sitting on her lap. Thinks that she needs help. He's been described by many people as a very friendly older gentleman. Leans in. You can see this. You'll see this. Leans towards him. Miller leans back. He immediately backs up, puts his hands back in his pocket. You see him back away, At 8:21 and 51 seconds, put his hands back in his pockets, and she actually continues to stand up, point out where the Tylenol is, and he continues to walk towards the Tylenol. At 8:21 and 57 seconds, you see him leave and go to the Tylenol. Then less than 5 seconds later, you see Miss Miller back up. She actually backs into the display case at this point. The display case visibly moves. Then you see her run over her child's foot. Her child actually does fall out of the cart. She runs over the child's foot, and another bystander who's there, who had witnessed the other interaction with Mr. Patel earlier, he had been right there within arm's reach. The gentleman who described it as like a father, interaction. That gentleman jumps in and grabs the child because the child's foot is sort of under the mobility cart. At this point, that gentleman, and his name is Mr. Leyva, he's on the warrant, so that's public record. His name is Mr. Leyva. So he is talking with Miss Miller at that point, and then you see Mr. Patel sort of have a brief interaction with them as he's walking to get another employee. So this is the second interaction, but the first interaction after this alleged kidnapping. Mr. Patel then goes and finds a Walmart employee, and this is at 8:23 and 09. The employee comes back and takes him to find the Tylenol. Miss Miller's creeping along, and Mr. Patel and Miss Miller walk past, Mr. Patel and this Walmart employee walk past Miss Miller in the mobility cart. She says nothing.
Wow.
Mr. Patel goes, gets the Tylenol with this employee. So this is the third interaction.
Wow.
He finds the Tylenol. He leaves the pharmacy area. And at 8:25 and 19 seconds, the fourth interaction with Miss Miller, he walks past her and he shows her the Tylenol. Like, hey, look, I got what I was looking for. Like everybody had been helping him. Nobody could find this Tylenol. He shows it to her and she gives him a thumbs up. Then you see at 8:27, Miss Miller is talking with that same Walmart employee. At the same time, you see Mr. Patel waiting in line to pay for the Tylenol. He pays with his debit card. He gets it in a bag, he walks towards the exit, and then you see him for about 30 seconds talking with a Walmart employee, the people that check your receipts at the end, joking, talking with that employee, taps him on the shoulder. You can see he is friendly with everybody. Talking with all the employees, things like that. He's a very friendly gentleman, you can see that. The entire interaction that Mr. Patel was in Walmart was 11 minutes. He interacted with Ms. Miller 3 times after she claims that he snatched her baby. There were lots of employees around, lots of people around for all of these interactions. Nobody stopped, nobody says anything. There was a gentleman within arm's reach. Nothing. Nobody screams. Ms. Miller waited 5 full minutes to actually tell a Walmart employee. The employee had to try to convince her to call the police. We've interviewed this employee, said it was very surprising, didn't know why she didn't want to call the police. She just wanted to report it to Walmart. She waited a full 30 minutes to actually call the police. She was outside.
30 minutes, bro. 30 minutes waiting. You continue shopping while your kid was kidnapped, supposedly. Continued shopping. This guy's shopping, leaves the store.
With her father, and called and said, hey, I'm sorry it took me so long to call you, but I got my baby back. Mr. Patel didn't flee. Mr. Patel was in for a while after this alleged interaction. He was in Walmart for almost 10 minutes after this alleged interaction, still looking for the Tylenol. He talked to at least 3 employees after this alleged interaction. So during this time that the police have said that he fled, he remained in Walmart for a full 8 minutes. He talked to 3 different employees, and he passed Miss Miller 3 times. He used his debit card, and then he waited at the door and talked to an employee for over 30 seconds. I'm going to show you if you want to pull up. So what we've done is we have a couple different videos. One of them, because nobody wants to watch 20 different surveillance videos, one of them shows Mr. Patel coming in, and if you want to go ahead and start playing that. And then I can show you the exact interaction.
Judge, if I could be heard, this isn't a trial to bond hearing, and so I would encourage the court to consider the legal bond considerations. I'm not sure that this is pertinent to that. If they want to submit this for the court's review, if they believe that they can articulate why it's pertinent to the issue of bond, which is the narrow issue we have today, I can understand that, and we can have.
You don't want them to see the video.
That discussion, but if we're just playing videos to try the case in a bond hearing, the state would object to that. It's not relevant.
You have a relevancy objection.
Judge, I can't imagine anything that's more relevant than a video of the alleged incident. If you were trying to determine bond and you had a video of what the accused is accused of doing, that could potentially be the most relevant.
This is how easy it is for somebody to like flip your life upside down, especially men, just to throw and flip your life. Imagine there was no cameras or something. They were in somewhere else.
Information you would ever have in a bond
Even
hearing,
with cameras,
whether
they'll
or
lock
not
your ass
someone
up and
actually
throw
did what
you-
they're accused of. And the other thing is the state has
guess it
alleged
takes
that he
time,
had flight, that he fled. That's been alleged from the beginning by the police. There's no,
police
part of the
too?
bond factors, significant risk of fleeing or failure to appear in court. No. Is he a danger or a threat to anybody? You need to watch the video. He's not. He's clearly not. Is he at risk of committing any future felonies? No. I mean, I think it's highly relevant, and I would imagine the court would want to see this.
Well, I'll overrule the objection. As I read the pleadings, I looked at it as possible evidence that he would come to court, and that he is not a flight risk. Of course, I haven't seen the video, right? So I don't know what it's going to show me, but I'll let you do that. And just so everybody knows, I have my own monitor down here. I'm not staring at the floor. So
Wonderful.
I'll let you do that.
Thank you so much. All right, and this is the compilation. So the reason that we did this part is to kind of show the timeline. You can go ahead and play it. The timeline for the court when Mr. Patel enters the store at 8:16.
Walking in.
And then you can see him walking, and he's on his phone, texting his daughter, which can be corroborated by the phone when we get it.
Bro, going to the store is not just going to the store anymore, right? You get shot.
Now you see him, he's walking to the pharmacy section. This is the pharmacy section.
Kidnapping. The pharmacy. Supposedly there for time.
And now this is when he actually interacts for the first time with Miss Miller. So that's Miss Miller in the cart, in the scooter. The first time that they've met, and they're talking about the Tylenol. And so the gentleman, you can see a gentleman in an orange shirt behind them. That's the gentleman I was talking about. That's the witness. His name is Mr. Leyva.
All right.
He's the one that later assists.
All right.
And witnessed the whole thing. So this is the other view, so you can see how close Mr. Leyva is. And behind this display cart is that's when you can see the beginning of Miss Miller's cart. So the incident, the alleged incident, is happening now. Here's the other view of it, flipping back so you can see both views. That's the alleged incident right there. Then she points. He moves on, goes to get the Tylenol. She backs up into the display cart.
Oh, she all over the place.
She's laughing. Joking.
So this was after the baby was supposedly kidnapped? She's over here laughing with this guy?
With this gentleman.
Wow.
This is literally a split second after this.
See, the thing is, man, that she definitely needs to be held accountable. I mean, if this is a lie, which it looks like it, and we've covered stories. There was a situation where, was it Walmart too or Target? Remember a long time ago, there was some scammer people that claimed their kid. Somebody tried to, it was something, and it was racism and all this stuff, and it turned out to be like a lie. And they raised money and all this kind of stuff too. I don't know if she was hoping for something like that. He might have really just thought the kid was gonna fall. I don't know. It's hard to, but it's not like she claimed there was a tug of war. That's what she literally told people, was a tug of war. My keyboard is all messed up.
Then she points. He moves on, goes to get the Tylenol. She backs up into the display cart.
Boom. Right after. Okay.
She's laughing, joking with this gentleman.
Wild, that's wild.
This is literally a split second after this alleged kidnapping.
Social
You
butterfly.
see her child kind of get off the cart. She runs over the child's foot. The guy jumps in to help.
Look at that. He's kidnapper number 2?
She was having trouble with the cart. I mean, everybody says that.
Oh, Lord.
All of this is after this alleged kidnapping has taken place. There's Mr. Patel entering the video again. You see him walking past. He talks with this guy that's witnessed this alleged kidnapping. Miss Miller's right there, doesn't say a word. She's puttering along in her cart. He's chatting with this gentleman, asking about the Tylenol. This gentleman speaks Spanish, so the communication's a little bit difficult there. Mr. Patel goes to try and find a Walmart employee. He walks past Miss Miller again. There's that other interaction I mentioned, the third interaction, walks past her to find a Walmart employee. Again, this is all after this alleged kidnapping, so, you know, he's not fleeing.
That's wild.
Want to find another employee.
That's wild, man.
There's the employee walking him back to the Walmart pharmacy to show him where the Tylenol is. So you can see Miss Miller puttering along in her cart in the back of this video. This employee shows Mr. Patel where the Tylenol is. Miss Miller puttering along still on her cart. Mr. Patel walks past her, shows her, look, I got the Tylenol. She gives him a thumbs up.
Wow.
He keeps going. That's when, at 8:27, that's when she first told this Walmart employee about this. At the same exact time, Mr. Patel is paying for his Tylenol, so he's still in the store. And you can see if you zoom in, and we didn't do that, but it's the rapid release Tylenol. It's a special gel Tylenol that it's the exact same label that his daughter texted him a picture of to buy.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
And Mr. Patel has no medical background. It's not surprising that he's asking his family for help. His wife's a doctor. His daughter's in medical school. So, I mean, it's not surprising he's asking for assistance with this. Pays with his card in his name, linked to his bank account. Him talking with this employee on the way out. Complete opposite of fleeing.
Life is so good and amazing. I hope you have a wonderful night. I just truly thank God every day for what a blessed day it is. And that all hell breaks loose.
I mean, he's like the typical elderly gentleman who talks to everybody at the store.
I just thank God, count my blessings every day.
And then he leaves. 8:28, 8:29.
He leaves, thinking nothing of it.
And Judge, so I've got the two videos of that alleged interaction if you want to see them. I don't want anybody to think anything's been taken out of anything, or, I mean, it's all on here, but what we did with this compilation is try to show both sides, you know, back and forth. I don't want to take up the court's time needlessly, but we have those. We're ready to show them. Happy to show them if you'd like to see them. I don't know what the court, would you like to see the other, just those interactions?
I don't know that I need to.
Okay.
If you think it's important, I will.
No, I don't think it's important. All right, Judge. So moving on. So the other things that the evidence in this case, there's two alleged witnesses, the Walmart employee and Mr. Leyva. Mr. Leyva is mentioned on the warrant. Both of them, we've interviewed them. Both of them had said if they'd seen a kidnapping, an assault, an attempt, anything like that, they would have stepped in.
So that there's witnesses too to this. The other men that were there, there's witnesses.
That they were there, didn't see it. They all confirmed the Walmart was busy. There were lots of people around. The Walmart employee said that Mr. Patel was a friendly older gentleman, you know, was very friendly with her, kind of gave her like a hug almost, like she was so happy when she finally helped him find the Tylenol. She said that she didn't know what was going on with Miss Miller, but she's not permitted to ask what her handicap is, but she said it was suspicious that she didn't scream, call 911, anything like that. And then Mr. Leyva, the gentleman in the orange shirt that you saw, again, he said that Mr. Patel lifted the child like the child's father, and that Miss Miller sort of pulled back the child. There was no tug of war. Mr. Leyva actually was mistaken and thought it was the younger child that all this was happening with. He was kind of confused, but the one thing he was sure about was that there was no attempted abduction, and had he seen anything like that, he was close enough that he would have stepped in and done something. He also told us that there were lots of people that witnessed the interaction. He speaks Spanish, so we had a Spanish interpreter interview him because there was definitely a language barrier with him, though. Mr. Patel talked to the police. He answered the police's questions. He told the police that he leaned in to pick the child up so that she could show him where the Tylenol is. He told them that.
Where was this?
At the police station when he was arrested. So he was arrested on March 21st. So before, they didn't talk to Mr. Patel.
It really is kind of, I've heard the saying guilty until proven innocent. That's what it seems like.
The police got the warrant for kidnapping. They arrested Mr. Patel on March 21st.
Not the person that's just making up shit about you.
Took him to the police department and interviewed him. When they interviewed him, and the state has not provided us a copy of this, but this is based on pleadings and Mr. Patel, what transpired there. He said that he did. I mean, he confirmed that he leaned in to pick the child up so that she could stand up and show him where the Tylenol was. At that point, he believes, as anyone would, that she's handicapped. And she's got 2 young children, which you can clearly see she's having some trouble with the cart. I mean, it's a reasonable thing. And if you think that there's a child that's falling or might fall and someone's trying to stand up to help you, the reasonable thing would be to help that person. The state in one of their pleadings pointed out that he did not tell the police specifically that he thought the child was falling, but nobody asked him that either. He also said that they didn't ask him if he told Miller immediately that he was trying to help her. But what he explained was that Miller didn't want his help. As soon as he realized that, he stopped, put his hands back in his pocket, and moved on. So we're talking a few seconds here, and he's trying to help. She says she doesn't want his help. He pulls back. You can see it, and you can see it on the video. And we know Mr. Patel cares for his 86-year-old elderly mother. We know why he's there. He's not there for a sinister purpose. Judge, I anticipate the state's probably going to focus a lot on Mr. Patel and his prior record. Mr. Patel has a conviction from a 2006 conspiracy. It's a Class E felony. For those that don't really practice in federal court, myself included, I had to call the federal defender to explain how it all works to me. The Class E felony is sort of like our high and aggravated misdemeanor. It's a 1 to 5 type of offense. It's a conspiracy. He accepted responsibility for his role in a 2006. It was a white collar case. It's a conspiracy, and the allegations, I was able to get the transcript and get the indictment and get the plea recommendation and all of that. Mr. Patel and another gentleman who was one of his neighbors, Mr. Obleton, they essentially contacted a company and they were asking for rewards to get a contract for a school, public school system's IT system. So at the time, Mr. Patel was an engineer. And he entered into a sales agreement in early 2007, whereby he would get a 3.9% commission for if this company got the sales agreement, the IT agreement, to do the IT stuff for the school system. In March of 2008, he did receive a sales commission for this. And so those are the 3 overt acts for his role in the conspiracy. I wanted to make sure I knew that so that I could explain, the depth of it, because I assumed it would be a big deal to the state. Everything else was contributed to Mr. Obleton, but Mr. Patel helped the government convict Mr. Obleton. In exchange for that, he was granted leniency. He pled to the Class E felony. It's considered the least serious of all federal crimes. He paid all of the money back, not just the money that he gained. He actually paid Mr. Obleton's money back also, and the case was terminated early. So we would actually submit that shows that he is in compliance with court orders and helps with bond, because not only did he pay what he owed, but he paid what Mr. Obleton owed the government back. He reimbursed them in due course early, and his probation was early terminated. He has another case from 2020, a reckless driving conviction. In that case, he accepted responsibility for the reckless driving. He completed all of the conditions that the court asked him, and he actually did such a good job and did it so early that his probation was early terminated after just 6 months. He has a pending 2005 DUI less safe. It's a non-test case. It is, he was arrested, and I was able to pull the reports. He was arrested, and the probable cause was the odor of alcoholic beverages emanating from his breath and his bloodshot eyes. He was arrested, and he was released on bond. He is currently on that bond, and I'm not sure if the state will make a big deal out of that or not. Ms. Miller has a conviction for DUI. Mr. Patel does not.
Oh, she got one too, though? Damn. Well, he's not convicted, I guess, but she got one too. God damn, everybody messed up.
But again, he complied with that court order, early terminated, did a great job.
All right.
I want to talk a little bit about One thing I just want to point out before moving on, because I think it'll save us some time, the state had mentioned to us that they wanted some type of a protective order for the discovery. We've not been able to get discovery in this case. The case was indicted April 3rd. We opted in on April. When review the open file was getting it, but one of the issues was they want to make sure that we don't disseminate any witness information. There's quite a bit that's out there, that's public. Ms. Miller did quite a few press conferences early on.
Ms. Miller did quite a few press
In the
conferences.
case, press interviews, and obviously we have done that in response, but her information's out there. There's a lot of public police reports involving her that has her address. And so we are certainly not providing that to anybody. We will agree not to provide it to anybody. We already have it and haven't provided it to anybody. But I know the state's concern was over witness information. We haven't released it. We wouldn't release it, but it's really not hard to find. There's over anybody. We already have it and haven't released it. Recognized
my keyboard's messing up.
That have flown in. Friends adding it, but police reports involving her that has her address. And so we are certainly not providing that to anybody. We will agree not to provide it to anybody. We already have it and haven't provided it to anybody. But I know the state's concern was over witness information. We haven't released it. We wouldn't release it, but it's really not hard to find. There's over 20 police reports in the last 7 years involving Ms. Miller. It's not hard to find this information.
Damn, she got 20 police reports?
I don't know how that's relevant to the bond motion that we have.
I know you don't like that
today, Judge, so I would object to that.
It's relevant to the protective order. And I'm sorry, I was deviating for a moment just on the protective order, but I can save that and argue that separately.
All right.
Okay. So as far as bond, the last thing I wanted to point out to the court is my client's ties to the community. Judge, my client, he's got friends. He actually has friends here that he grew up with and went to high school with in India that have flown in for this bond hearing. They're here in this courtroom. We have over 100 people in court. We have over 150 downstairs. There's a lot more online. He's married. When he first came to this country, he went to school in Ohio. He got his master's in electrical engineering. His wife went to medical school in Ohio. They both graduated from Cleveland State, and they've been married for 31 years. They had their first daughter when they still lived in Ohio. They moved here. They have lived here in the Harrison High School District for 21 years. They own their home in West Cobb. They were zoned for Harrison, but both of his daughters went to the magnet school at Kennesaw Mountain. They both got full scholarships and graduated from Georgia Tech. They're both in graduate school currently. One is in medical school and one is in MBA school. Can recognize by the outpouring of people that are here to support him. He is active in the Kiwanis Club. He's a board member of the Lost Mountain Kiwanis Club. He is active at Read Across America and a program called Terrific Kid Program, where they actually go and read to children at North Cobb High School, children in need, children who have developmental disabilities, at Mount Perrin, and also at Due West Elementary. He's active at his temple in Cartersville, the Sharim Temple, and there's members of that community here in support as well. He has, at this point, as of 9 a.m. this morning, 46,000 signatures on a petition supporting his release.
Wow, 46,000 signatures. Okay.
There's been letters written in support of his release from the South Asian Bar Association, the Cobb County Democrats, the Cobb County Republicans, the Hindu American Foundation, local medical providers, and I could go on and on. I honestly can't keep up with all the people that have reached out in support. He has members of his family here, his wife, his daughter, uncles, aunts, cousins, friends, schoolmates, members of the community, his neighbors. His neighbors have contacted us multiple times and just can't believe that he's in jail. His house is the house where the bus stop is, and all the kids like to wait for the bus at his house. And so he's got neighbors here in support of him, just a lot of community support. So, Judge, we would ask that
they really did mess with the wrong one.
You release him on bond.
How old is he?
How old are you?
57 years.
57. I was going to say 56. I forgot. He had a birthday 2 weeks ago in the Cobb County Jail.
Wow, yeah, and he had his birthday in jail.
He's now 57 years old. He's been in the Cobb County Jail for 6 weeks without a bond. And we would just ask that you release him on bond, Judge. And if there's anything else you want to know about him.
In what amount?
$10,000, please.
So he ended up getting out. He did. I want to play a little bit. There's still a clip I got to show you because they go into the history in the past a little bit of Miller. But I want to play a little bit of this here. They come out of the released on bond, okay? I feel like we need some type of rap song or something. All right, it's Patel, released on bond. Hey.
So happy to be out.
So happy to be out.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
I was there for 47 days, absolutely. I counted every hour and every minute of over there.
How does it feel being able to walk outside, be with your family, with your daughters?
It feels great. It feels great. It could not happen without all these guys right here in my circle. Didn't help me.
What was it like all that time, those 6 weeks you were in there?
Well, you know, I'm a perseverance guy, so you got to take it one day at a time. A lot of ups and downs in the days, but I knew we had a team outside helping me. So one day we'll see the light out, and then we see it today.
Yeah, put it in perspective. I asked if he had clothes, and he said, well, I have winter clothes because I went into jail. It was
That's
still
right.
winter.
Yeah, this is it. And I have a jacket actually too, black jacket, because that day
he's in good spirits.
it was in a 40.
I might have been cursing.
when I got picked up.
Yeah.
So like I don't even have clothes even. Yeah, it was a tough time over there, but.
What was your reaction when you got arrested?
I said that, you know, I cannot even dream about somebody alleging me for doing this kind of thing. Forget about me dreaming to do this. So it was a shocker. In fact, I didn't even realize why they were arresting me in the first place. And they took me in Acworth. And that's when I realized that this is what it was all about. I thought they had a wrong guy or something. So we had no idea.
But he wants to go home and, you know, eat a home cooked meal and be with his family and get a shower. Yeah, what are you going to do first? Yeah, what are you going to do first?
I'm going to take a shower.
Is that the case now?
I'm a picky about food, but I told my daughter and wife, I said, I don't care. Better than what I got over there. I'll take it any day, any moment. So any food I will eat.
Very quickly seeing all your supporters. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to thank actually Ashley Merchant. Here's my daughter. She is Elena. Is the champion. She is the one who worked day and night for me, and she's the one got Ashley on the team. I couldn't do it without my daughter.
You've gotten 47,000 signatures. How do you feel about all the support you've been getting?
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how I will be able to pay the thing for great food.
Everyone that had supported him this whole journey and without question, and we are really very grateful.
I could not believe that this many supporters came out today, were inside and outside the courtroom to support me. I'm very grateful for them. Very grateful for them.
Mahendra.
He might be able to sue.
It's just happy, positive.
Yeah, happy, positive. I think they came
Because
up.
it's all over the news. And she
So I didn't have
definitely
any
caused
choice
damage
but
to
wear
him.
a green one. So
Emotional, maybe financial.
I saw you do the namaste when you came out.
Yes, I do.
Do you feel like any of this has to do with race at all?
I don't want to comment.
You know they got to throw race.
I mean, it's a very sensitive issue. I know. I don't know what goes through the mind of people when they do that. We don't play racism in our life. We take it whatever the card we get in. But I was reading a Bhagavad Gita actually inside, okay, which is a Hindu scripture, you know it. And then when I was coming out, one of the inmate, who's a white inmate there, he said, "Can I get this Gita? Can I get this Gita?" I said, "Of course I can. You can get a Gita. We'll send you 10 of them if you want to." So they were reading as well, and I think it's a bigger thing God put me in. I don't know why they just picked me out of the road and put me over there for 47 days. We'll figure out. We'll pray for it and see what his message is. What we want me to do.
How excited are you to actually clear your name, be out there in front of it now?
Well, we haven't cleared yet. We still have to go. I think this is the first step in the right direction.
Yeah, the case is still going.
So, I think it goes beyond me actually. That you are innocent until you are proven guilty, and sometimes things doesn't work out. I'm so happy and so happy for my paralegal right here. She was overwhelmed. Okay, lady.
How do you feel about what Caroline Miller is saying about you?
I don't know. I don't feel grievance about other people. That's what it is. We take it positively. Everything in life and whatever comes to, it's her karma that she will have to keep up.
It's her karma.
Whatever she did, and we go about our life.
Yo, that's diabolical. I'm gonna tell you what else is real diabolical. And we're gonna get into her.
It would never have happened because of this lady right here.
Are you hoping the DA will drop the charges?
When first day she came, we were like, you have no idea what is going on outside, but we gotta change your image over here. Yeah.
It's just such a wrong way.
First few days were not good for our family and everybody, but we quickly turned around, and I'm so grateful for not only Atlantans who came out inside and outside today, but also so many people from online, all across the country and out of country, even in other countries as well, supported us all over in social media. And
I just want to show you again, we're going to look at the clip about her, but just remember again, at the beginning of this thing, what this woman did with her child. You got a woman like this too that are willing to like manipulate, allegedly, and talk to their kids. And remember, he did this. Mommy, what are you talking about? No, remember, do it for mommy. This is what mommy told you. This is what happened. This is the type of woman too, like they want to take custody from your kids, or they lie, say you beat your kid or whatever, abuse them, whatever. Remember what mommy told, always whispering in the ear. You'll never see your dad. Tell him mommy said this. This is what mommy said, okay?
Station was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy? Yeah.
Caroline.
That's diabolical, bro. That's
Station was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy? Yeah.
Caroline Miller's.
Holy crap. Okay, so let's look at this video here, because somebody dug into her. I haven't watched this video yet. I hope it's, let's see.
26-year-old Caroline Miller falsely accused this man, 56-year-old Mahendra Patel, of attempting to kidnap her 2-year-old son while they were in a Walmart. And a lot of people have been leaving comments on my videos saying she's the same woman who falsely accused a Lyft driver of RAPing her back in 2019. I'm going to show you guys her interview about that. But real quick, if you don't know about this current case that's going on March 18th, Mahendra Patel went into a Walmart looking for Tylenol, but he couldn't seem to find it anywhere. So he came across Caroline Miller, who, despite not having any kind of physical disabilities, was in a motorized cart, and he simply asked her if she knew where it was and if she could point him in the right direction. She had her 2-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter with her, and while they were speaking, he noticed she seemed to be struggling with them, and the 2-year-old boy was about to fall off of her lap. So, thinking she was disabled, he picks the child up and safely repositions him back onto her lap. He then walks off to try to find the Tylenol. And right after that, she backs the chair up and starts talking to this guy with a smile on her face. She didn't even realize that while she was talking to him, her daughter climbed off the bottom of the cart. So when she began driving off, she ran over her foot. The man rushed over and lifted up the tire in order to free her leg. After flagging down an employee and asking to be shown exactly where it is, he finally gets the Tylenol and then sees Caroline again as he's on his way to the cash register to pay. You can see he's showing it to her, and I imagine he probably said something like, "Hey, I finally found it. Thanks for your help." He then walks off to pay. And as he's doing that, she decides to finally get her ass up and flag down a Walmart employee and tell her that he had tried to take her child from her. She said it happened during this encounter and that they actually had a tug of war for the kid. But as we know, the video surveillance showed that is not at all what happened. And despite that, he was indicted on charges of attempted kidnapping, simple assault, and simple battery. And it's been over a month and he's still in jail. And like I said in my first video, if he was really trying to take the kid, why didn't she get up, scream, grab the kids, run for help, anything? Instead, there was nothing because nothing happened. Anyway, here's the interview that she gave about the Lyft driver.
Oh, press her. Look at her here. She's used to this TV shit. Inside Edition again, too.
3 a.m. when I called Lyft to pick me up. I was still a little intoxicated when Lyft arrived, so I decided to take a nap in the back seat. A few minutes later, I woke up, and I couldn't believe what was happening. He had his hand down my pants and was groping and raping me. Then he started talking about taking me to a hotel. I was freaking out. I can't tell you how scared I was, but I went along with him and told him that I needed to retrieve my inhaler out of my car before we went to a hotel. At the same time, I was desperately texting my boyfriend for help. My boyfriend called the police. They arrived on scene as soon as I was able to escape to my car, and the police arrested him on the spot. This clearly shows that Lyft needs to make significant safety changes because it should not happen to anyone. I think having every ride recorded would be a strong deterrent to predator drivers. Make no mistake, these men are predators, and by allowing them to drive, Lyft is fostering a vile and dangerous business practice, and that is why I'm suing. They don't care about their customers, they only care about their profit. Lyft demonstrated that when they ignored my assault.
Wow.
There was no apology, no phone calls or emails, no response. The holidays are here, and I can tell you that I will not be using Lyft to get around. I'm discouraging all women from using Lyft as well, but I hope those who do will take precautions. Make sure the driver who shows up is the same as the person pictured on the app. Record your ride, and don't let him deter from the route to take a shortcut. Call someone when you get in the car and try to keep the conversation going throughout the ride. Remember, you can't trust Lyft to watch out for your safety, as they so like to state.
Oh, and look at this old Facebook post. Keeping my girls safe from the kidnappers, because who wouldn't steal such a cutie?
Wow. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Hold on, I think there was another video to another. Did they have an interview on this here? We did a world press tour. Help me. She's just doing what she does. Maybe they won't let me play it there. Give me a few seconds. Wild, man. Wild, 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 wild. She's up to her shenanigans again, it looks like.
I'm just glad that he's still home with us.
Thankful. That's how Caroline Miller is feeling after a frightening encounter at this Acworth Walmart.
But as much as we would love to think it'll never happen, it will and does. And to be prepared for when it does.
She says her kids wanted to ride the motorized wheelchair. They were almost done shopping when she says 56-year-old Mahendra Patel asked for help finding Tylenol.
When I pointed my arm out this way to point it to the direction of where it was, that is when he reached down, put both his hands on Jude, and grabbed him out of my lap.
She says it happened so fast.
I'm like, no, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
She says then he walked off, bought the Tylenol, and left.
We saw him checking out, but before we could really do anything, he was gone.
3 days later,
So he
police
ran
arrested
out.
Patel.
We were able to see the car
He was actually shopping, taking his time.
got into and followed cameras and used our flock cameras in the city and was able to get a tag number and track him down.
But Miller still thinks Walmart needs to have better security.
Obviously, these places are targeted. You know, we know what's going on in the area around here. How many missing posters of kids do they have on their very own wall?
She said,
I think she loves the attention and she wants to be on TV, these press conferences. She wants to be a continual victim, hoping to get some type of lawsuit, sympathy. Go, hey, everybody's doing GoFundMe now. Some type of GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go, martyr, whatever.
says she's now teaching her kids a lesson she didn't think she'd have to this early.
She's more prepared for the situation if it ever happens again. She knows to scream now. He knows to kick and bite and get away.
Crazy. Crazy. Just be careful out there. Be careful. You just don't know. What a story. And he still has to fight this case. Wow. The lawyer did speak. There's a clip of her talking to you.
And so we're just very thankful about that.
Why do you think we saw him sit in jail for so long?
I think that it was just a couple different factors that played into it. You know, the court system sometimes takes a while to get bond. I think the charges were embellished at the beginning, and that sort of led to a downward spiral that resulted in him sitting in jail for a while.
Are you going to fight to get these charges dropped?
Yes, definitely. We think
Talk
Mr. Patel
about
is.
the process. What's next?
Yeah, so Mick is innocent, and so we're definitely going to fight for his innocence and for him to be released. The process, we filed a motion to dismiss already. It's called a demur, and that's a motion to quash the indictment. So we've already filed that. We're hoping that the judge will dismiss the charges. Essentially, we're saying that he can admit to all the conduct and he's not guilty of a crime.
You said the video in court, you said the video clearly shows that this was not a case of attempted kidnapping. If you could talk about that.
Right. I mean, the video is clear. If you watch the video, you can see a gentleman who is helping someone who he thought's a neighbor at a neighborly Walmart. There's nothing criminal about it. There's nothing no interaction that's scary, nothing like that.
I want to ask you about Mrs. Miller really quick. Do we, from what I understand, you said that she's made false accusations prior.
Yes.
Was this Lyft driver, Uber driver, another person of color?
Yes, he was. He was an
So the whole thing came up with the other person that was falsely accused, the Uber Lyft driver. And so they're bringing up the race thing, and was this a person of color? She said yes.
African-American gentleman, and there's been other prior false allegations. So we're sort of investigating.
Other prior false allegations? I don't even know. What other allegations are there? So this seems like a stick for her. What she
to getting
does.
that now and trying to put all of that together.
Are you considering bringing charges against Ms. Miller?
I mean, we can't bring charges against her.
Filing any kind of report that could lead to charges?
I'm not sure. We're investigating. We're trying to figure out the motivations. I mean, at this point, we just want the case dismissed against Mr. Patel.
What did you make of what the district attorney's office had to say regarding a history of alcoholism and also pointing to the same video that you've provided and explaining it as something different than what you've stated?
I think this is a case of a misunderstanding, and it's very clear, and you could see that in the court today. You're looking at a video that 99.9% of people view and say it's a misunderstanding, and then the minority view that you can take to the absolute extreme, they believe supports their decision, their side of it. But I think it's clear when you watch it and you look at all the context. If you look at everything, you can clearly see that this is not a crime. That this is nothing like that. I'm not surprised that they harped on his DUI arrest. I mean, that's what they have. I don't think it's particularly relevant because we've talked to all the witnesses and no one said there was any alcohol involved. But I also think that that's sort of what they had to try to deny bond in this case. I mean, it's that's completely unrelated to this, but we brought it up. We weren't trying to hide from it. I mean, we definitely brought it up. That happens, but I don't think it had anything to do with this, and it was just what the judge said. He has no violence. He has no charges involving children. He has nothing of a sexual nature. I mean, nothing like that.
Ms. Merchant, you saw the gallery laugh when the state was presenting the video of him allegedly yanking the child. Do you think that the judge or the court system is kind of thinking the same thing, that, hey, this is a reach?
Yes, and I think that was one of those things that wasn't planned. But when you see something and someone asks you something that's just kind of unbelievable, you have an audible gasp. And as lawyers, we've spent a lot of time trying to avoid having any reaction, but I think it was hard for the people in the courtroom, especially since we've been thinking there's this, what is it? What is supporting their decision to not give him a bond? What is it? That's it. It's sort of like that old Wendy's commercial. Where's the beef? Where, and I'm showing my age by saying that, but it's like, what? That's it? That's your case?
There's been speculation that your relationship with the district attorney's office has played a role in this case. Do you care to comment on that, or?
I hope to God that's not the case, because, anytime you're taking someone's freedom away for 6 weeks, I mean, you're literally taking them away from their family, their friends. 6 weeks is a long time.
Do you think that is the case?
I hope not. I don't know, and I hope not. But, I hope that ultimately the right thing's done.
How's Mr. Patel been holding up the past 6 weeks, been sitting there, no bond?
At the very beginning, it was actually really difficult because all of the news that was presented was presenting him as this fleeing kidnapper. So that was really hard. And it's hard whenever you're just getting accustomed to being in jail. I can tell you once the evidence actually came to light, things have definitely shifted, but it's still been miserable. I mean, he celebrated his birthday in jail. He's the caregiver for his elderly mother. He's had to rely on family and friends to care for her. I mean, that's a very difficult thing to do.
In a statement from the Cobb County DA given to actually NBC News Now, they said there's more to the story.
That was it. I think there more to the story is that he had a DUI.
And it sounds like the district attorney's office has been in touch with the victim's or the accused's mother, and she's concerned about her safety or the family's safety. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, I'm concerned for Mr. Patel's safety. I've been concerned for his safety this entire time. And I think there was a lot of things drawn out about the case early on because she chose to go to the media. It also sounded like, she was letting the district attorneys handle the case, which I thought was interesting, because it's up to them now. If they want to release him, do the right thing.
And where is Mr. Patel now? Going back to jail?
How the process works is you have to actually go back to jail to bond out. I know on TV they walk out of the courtroom. It doesn't happen that way. So he goes back to jail and then posts the bond and actually is going to be released from the jail.
He'll be home today?
He will be home today. I'm headed out there to get him. Yes.
What time do you think?
I think probably 2 hours. But Cobb is really good. Cobb is fast. Yeah, Cobb processes folks pretty quickly.
I noticed the district attorney was in the room and Sheriff Craig Owens actually walked through.
I did see that.
I haven't been to many bond hearings, but is that normal? Is the sheriff usually involved?
No, the sheriff is never there, and neither is the district attorney. I'm guessing because of all the people. I mean, we had, almost 400 people. I think because we had almost 400 people and we had so much community outpouring, almost 50,000 signatures on a petition. So I think they were here just because of the attention.
All right, so that's it. Yeah, just a jarring case. A jarring case. I can't even.
Here. So, because the defense has played one video
Am I okay to sit down so I can use my laptop, Judge? Thank you.
Let's just take a quick look.
I want to show the zoomed-in version of the clip. Yeah.
I'm not going to play this whole thing, but I want to see what the prosecution
and if you'll pay attention here, Judge. When you zoom in on it, you can actually see defendant grabbing this 2-year-old child. The child was 2 at the time, and tugging the child, attempting to tug the child away from the mom. I'm going to show you a still version in a second, too, that actually shows the child's legs hanging over the lap of his mother as the mom tries to pull her child back to her lap. You can see he's kind of inner space. I know there's a...
I mean, it might have looked like here, but...
And tugging the child, attempting to tug the child away from the mom.
Look at the child.
I'm going to show you a still version in a second, too, that actually shows the child's legs hanging over the lap of his mother as the mom tries to pull her child back to her lap. You can see he's kind of inner space. I know there's a narrated, edited version that was presented, by the defense, and sure, the state would say if you don't take a closer look, it might cause concerns. But when you do take a closer look, you can see him tugging on this child, and there's the legs.
This is where the false, this is the other
before
side.
Mom is able to regain control of her 2-year-old.
Let me play that again. So this is the part they're claiming.
Before Mom is able to regain control of concerns, but the state would say if you don't take a closer look, it might cause concerns. But when you do take a closer look, you can see him tugging on this child, and there's the legs. Before Mom is able to regain control of her 2-year-old from.
That's just really hard to... It looks like maybe he did try to help out or something. Maybe he thought the child was going to fall, but it doesn't look like he's like trying to forcibly take the kid and run off with the kid.
And bring the 2-year-old back to her lap. So...
And what happens after?
Here's the actual, you can see the legs of the child dangling as Mr. Patel tries to pull the child away. Listen, Judge, is this an unusual case? I would say it is. The state's not oblivious to the fact that this is a very bizarre set of circumstances. Nonetheless, this defendant reached down and grabbed a 2-year-old child from the lap of a woman in a Walmart at 8:30 at night and attempted to pull that child from her lap. The facts are not governed by the state here. The facts are governed by the choices of this particular defendant on this particular night, this particular public Walmart, as he encroached on the space of this mother and her two children. I will tell you that there was an employee that told the police that the defendant also touched her and that he said something like he loved her. There is some evidence of apparent intoxication on the defendant's part, and looking at his criminal history is not terribly surprising because it would hear that intoxication and alcohol issues have been legally an issue for him in the past as well. The victim's mother, for your knowledge, is 26 years old. She was 5'3". She has 2 children. She was minding her own business at a Walmart when this defendant, 56, a convicted felon who served time in federal prison, get to that in just a second, who's out on bond on a pending case, 5'10", 240 pounds, made the choice that he's going to reach down and grab her child and try to pull that child off her lap. He was unsuccessful in doing so, which is why an attempted kidnapping is perhaps a better charge than the initially charged kidnapping, even though you can clearly see the slight asportation as is contemplated by the law. So this defendant grabs a 2-year-old child sitting on his mother's lap, and despite the release of somewhat edited, narrated, scripted, when you look at the zoomed in view, you can actually see the corroboration of what the mother has told the police and told the Walmart employees as well. she actually told the police, and it's corroborated by the video evidence, that she pulled the victim back to me and that she refused to let go of her child. I do want to talk a little bit about defendant's statement because he made a number of admissions that we really haven't talked about in this case. So he was interviewed by the police. It was admittedly a couple of days later. So the police issued a bolo, be on the lookout, the day of, trying to identify him. And it was only through looking at some flock camera video and some video surveillance that they were finally able to piece together who this individual was. So it happened on the 18th of March, and he wasn't arrested until the 21st in a neighboring jurisdiction before he was transported to the police for his interview. So you know, we can call that whatever you want. He certainly didn't stay on the scene, but when you talk about his admissions, I think they're telling as to where his mindset is into what he had done prior to his arrest. So though those statements are somewhat self-serving, he admitted that he grabbed the child. He admitted that he upset the mom. To quote him, he said, "She thought I was going to take her kid. I said, no, no, no." Then he said he saw her on the phone, and he pleaded with her. I said, "Please, I'm not going to take your kid," before heading out of the store. He said, "I was holding the kid. I realized she didn't want me to." He admitted that he realized she was afraid that I was taking her kid. Defendant Patel was confronted by the police and said, "You're a stranger to this child, Mr. Patel. You know, kind of why are you touching this child?" And he admitted thereafter that he had scared the mom and nonetheless left the Walmart anyway. At the tail end of his interview, he said that he wanted to apologize to her for what he had done. So there are some admissions that really go towards kind of the consciousness of guilt in that short clip that was just played for the court that are somewhat, they corroborate what Mama said, that she was scared by a man that was trying to grab a 2-year-old child from her lap, and he admitted that his conduct had placed her in that apprehension as well. So we do have safety concerns because of all the media that has been generated by this case, largely because of things, candidly, that the defense has put out, which is why we filed the motion for the protective order. Our preference is not to try these types of cases in the media, but instead to have full, fair, transparent court hearings to deal with these things. The fact of the matter is that this mother was with her 2 kids minding her own business, and this man, Mr. Patel, made a decision to grab a 2-year-old child from her lap at night in a Walmart. Even the witness who was interviewed by the police on the next aisle said that he was essentially unnerved by what he had seen and wanted to share that with the police as well. There are 2 separate 911 calls, one placed by the victim's mother, one by a Walmart employee. Of course, you've now seen some of the video. I've told you about the be on the lookout that was issued the night of as they tried to identify who this stranger was to this woman who tried to grab her kid from her lap. And fortunately, thanks to our advances in technology, I'm sure the court's aware of it, Flock, for a purpose of our record as a license plate reader, we're able to identify the defendant and realize, well, this is a man with a criminal history who's out on bond for a DUI that's pending in state court, and that's what prompted police to be able to go locate him, pick him up, bring him in for the interview where he made these admissions that I've articulated to the court about his conduct and about what he did. There is evidence to support that he probably was intoxicated at the time. The delay in getting to him, though...
I object. There's no evidence of that at all.
Sure. The description by witnesses suggests that there's something going on with him, that he may have been intoxicated, and certainly his criminal history, as I'm about to present that to the court, would show that there is a history of problems with alcohol use. Based on the Walmart witness and what the victim described, we certainly have reason to believe that he may have been intoxicated at the time. Of course, he didn't stay at the Walmart, so we weren't able to get a blood draw or anything like that. All right, so I do want to talk about criminal history as well. What you'll see on the criminal history is that defendant is a convicted felon, convicted of conspiracy to defraud the United States. He was arrested for bribery as part of that arrest as well. That was not what he was convicted of, though. It was conspiracy to defraud the United States. And while assertions have been made about the level of this, I will point out that defendant did serve federal prison time. I have not run the criminal history of everyone in the courtroom, but I'm aware of only one person that served federal prison time as a convicted felon in the courtroom, and that would be Mr. Patel. He admittedly served 6 months in prison, received looks like a 42-month sentence. He was on probation for a number of years for this felony offense that he's been convicted of. He did have a DUI that he was convicted of, a lesser included offense, reckless, that's February 7th, 2022. Highlighted that for the court. I've pointed out the defendant has a third arrest now pending by Kennesaw Police Department. That was December 6th of 2024. So that case is actively in the pipeline at the time defendant commits this offense at the Walmart. There are conditions of that bond that are actually attached to the solicitor's motion to revoke that bond. So that's the other document that I've handed to the court, is a motion to revoke defendant's bond in state court based on this new arrest. If you look at those bond conditions from January 28th of 2025, among other things, shall not violate the laws, shall not drink alcohol or use drugs. And we've talked a little bit about that as part of the state's presentation of the case. So that was filed, the motion to revoke bond, I believe, April the 28th. So here, while the defendant was on bond, he committed a new crime on March the 18th. And fortunately, because of our ability to leverage Flock and technology, were able to identify who this was, who this stranger was, who grabbed a 2-year-old child at night in a Walmart, and that led to his arrest and ultimately to his statement and admissions that he made on about March the 21st of 2025. So this is his fourth arrest. Okay, fourth arrest, Your Honor. The fourth being while he was already on bond on a pending case here in Cobb County, Georgia. And so legally, this court is not required to give a bond. The state's of the opinion he's not a good candidate for bond based on the history that we have here. I would suggest to the court that if you're inclined to grant a bond, even though you're not required to, that we...
Okay, so we know he bonded out. Where's the part where they...
Right. Then why don't we do this? Madam Clerk, if you'll get the standard order, work with counsel, get both of them to look at it. Mr. Recess for a brief period.
He's gonna have to sign this.
I wonder if they have the 911 call in there. Caroline, my love. All right, so that's that story. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Wanted to bring it forward. You know, we'll keep an eye on that. I think it's a reach. But and given her history, but they could argue his history, and he was already had an issue, and he was out on bond, and now he committed some, or he was accused of something else. Messed up story, man. We gotta be careful. Gotta be really careful out there. I'm gonna take a break. Hang out with the kids. Supposed to do a little experiment thing, so I'm gonna head out now, and hopefully nothing comes up for a little while till tonight, later tonight, if anything happens. All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you again. Be safe out there. Be safe, man. Think you're doing something nice. Think you're helping out, whatever. You get your ass locked up. And then you're doing a presto. A presto over here.
Arrested for snatching a toddler out of his mother's arms at Walmart.
Did someone try to take you from mommy? Yeah.
In an interview with Inside Edition, Carol.
Hi, I'm done. I'm getting off now. What's that? I don't know. What was that? Okay. All right, guys. Okay, yeah, we got to do the experiment tonight. All right. Bye. I don't want to say what it is yet. I want to surprise them. Bye, guys. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Catch you later. Have a good night. Take care. Peace. Stay away from people and be a recluse. See Solo. Right? Damn, somebody said, don't go touching strangers' babies. Don't ask for help in the store. Bloop, bloop. Thank you for the membership. Sikenya, thank you for the membership. Appreciate that. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for the people on Twitch too. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. All right, bye. She's watching. You know she's watching this shit. That lady's watching this shit. Bloop. I guess I gotta wait 30 seconds because I was in the stream. You never get to hear me say bye.